Alright guys, so in this video, I'm going to be discussing the Austin J. Tubin Plaza, which was located right within the World Trade Center complex, located right in front of both of the Twin Towers. It was a massive 5-acre plaza, which all of the buildings in the complex centered around. In 1982, the immense plaza between the Twin Towers was renamed after the man who authorized the construction of the original World Trade Center, Port Authority's late chairman, Austin J. Tubin. During the summer, the Port Authority installed a portable stage, typically backed up against the North Tower within the Tubin Plaza, for performers. The odd layout of the performances was due to the installation of a sculpture in the center of the plaza, which only allowed for about 6,000 fans. For many years, the plaza was often beset by brisk winds at ground level due to the effects of the massive Twin Towers. Some gusts were so strong that pedestrian travel had to be aided by ropes. In 1999, the outdoor plaza reopened after undergoing $12 million in renovations. This involved replacing marble pavers with gray and pink granite stones, adding new benches, planters, new restaurants, food kiosks, and an outdoor dining area. And then, of course, we all know what happened in September of 2001. I'm going to get to that and kind of the rubble and when the planes hit, how much debris came down. But first, I want to talk about a few other things when it comes to the World Trade Center Plaza. You can see the potential renovation that was planned for the plaza. This was really the only true pitched renovation of the Twin Towers, and it really wasn't even the Twin Towers, it was the plaza, which would have been completely redone, possibly with a massive overhang or some type of rope structure that could have been attached to the Twin Towers. I did another video on this. This was proposed in the late 80s to early 90s, and of course it was never completed. It certainly would have changed the events of September 11th, but on that day, obviously, with both planes striking the North and South Towers, debris cascaded down onto the plaza, and the plaza was covered in about 2 or 3 inches of dirt and rubble and dust, along with a bunch of papers from the offices. This is before both of the towers collapsed. There were also some smaller plane parts that were littered throughout the plaza, although most of the plane parts that ejected out of the building actually went straight through the towers and landed on the opposite street of the plaza. But at the time, even with both towers having been hit, before the collapse, the plaza was certainly salvageable. You know, you had the giant sphere in the center of it. That was kind of the centerpiece with the water as well. And the sphere right in the center at the plaza fountain was the world's largest bronze sculpture. You can see a photo of the sphere right in the center with debris littered all around it. This was after presumably one or both of the towers had been hit. That's why you see all the debris, but the sphere looks to be intact. If both of the towers had remained standing, the plaza certainly would have been salvageable, but at that point, it wouldn't have served a ton of purpose. I mean, I guess you still had the other World Trade Center buildings that would have still stood had the towers not collapsed. But obviously, when the towers collapsed, considering it is just a plaza, the plaza was completely destroyed. They were able to recover a very damaged sphere, and it is now on display for people to look at in different museums. So there is that. And then where is it now? Where is the World Trade Center Plaza right now? Well, it is completely covered with trees, as they planted trees surrounding both of the towers for the 9/11 memorial. So obviously it's not a plaza anymore. It's just almost like a little grassy forest area. And then there are a few other things to talk about. There was music that was played on September 11th, and the window in between both of the planes impacting the towers and the towers falling, you did see a few different people come out and film it. And in one of those videos, you can hear She's Always a Woman being played. In another video, you can hear the song How Deep Is Your Love. It's a very strange contrast when watching those videos and with the song playing from the bottom, because, I mean, it's all those songs played continuously on a loop, and it was just a typical morning, right? It was just a Tuesday morning in 2001. It was sunny, and they had those songs playing, and both of the attacks happen, and it's not like they're just going to shut the songs off. The only way the songs really would have been shut off, I guess, is if they would have, been short-circuited or the power would have been cut or something, but no one really cared to turn them off. It was really, basically a war zone with all the debris on the ground even before the towers collapsed. But obviously when the towers did collapse, it completely caked the entire plaza and ruined the fountain area, ruined pretty much everything, and it was never the same, and it was never seen like that ever again. Very similar to the World Trade Center Hotel, the Marriott. Well, the Marriott was completely destroyed, but it's just kind of a similar thing. The plaza really stood no chance with that sheer amount of material cascading down and falling down to earth at that quick of a rate. I always thought that this was an interesting photo, not only of the plaza, but look at the lobby of the Twin Towers. You can see right through it. It's just so odd that a massive skyscraper, you'd be able to see something like that where you can literally look directly through an extremely tall building like that. That's an old newspaper showing, they're not renderings. They didn't even have renderings in the 1960s and the 1970s. Those are scale replica models, kind of like, with model trains, things like that. I always loved smaller models. Those are models of the Twin Towers and the plaza in the center, along with a hotel that was being pitched. And of course, the hotel ended up becoming the Marriott. That is a light post in the plaza area. When it comes to a lot of the rubble photos of the plaza, the best way I can say it is it's really just impossible to make out where the plaza is because of the way the towers both came down. Obviously, a ton of debris is going to rain all over the place, cascade onto the plaza. It's very hard to make out where is the plaza, but that light post somehow survived. No clue how that's possible, but weird things happen in disasters. That's what I'll say. Weird things do happen, and that was located pretty close to where the center fountain was with the sphere, and it is also nice, the sphere does get damaged, but it does survive, and there is the stage. Yeah, so the stage is definitely a big thing. A lot of people talk about it. I'm not going to get into the graphic details that were involved with the stage because this is a YouTube video, but yeah, the stage definitely played a big impact when it comes to the plaza, and I think this was actually a month before September 11th. You can see the Marriott in the background right there. And then after the disaster and the collapse of the Twin Towers, there was the proposal possibly to rebuild the towers slightly taller, and you could see the plaza would have been rebuilt with the original outer wall that they would have gotten from the rubble of the original Twin Towers. Almost looks like flags going around kind of where the plaza was, and that's how that would have been rebuilt with kind of like a nice remembrance area. But if that would have happened, it certainly would have been more kind of a plaza-like thing. If they would have just straight up rebuilt the towers, you could have, maybe put the sphere back down there, maybe done another fountain or something like that. But alas, guys, the World Trade Center Plaza at this point does not exist. It is covered in trees as part of the memorial. But guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.